What's going on, guys? Blake Hawthorn, Itshisturf. In today's video, we're back at a property that we did some snow removal at last year. Except last year we tried it because it was brand new asphalt with the stand-on blowers. It worked, but it was pretty brutal, and as the night went on, it got pretty painful. This year we got approval to use skid steers, and it made the work so much better. So today's video, you get to see some sidewalk action mixed in with some skid steer action, and I'll show you some of the painfulness from last year too, and you let me know which way is better. I hope you enjoyed this kind of content, and I'm going to share with you today's scripture of the day, and then we're going to get rolling. Today's scripture of the day is James chapter 1, verse 5. It says, "If any of you lacks wisdom, you should ask God, who gives generously to all without finding fault, and it will be given to you." So if there's anything, wisdom, wealth, whatever it is that you're seeking, if your heart's right, those things are good, and God can use you. It says to pray very intentionally. Sometimes we're just like, no, God knows my desires. He knows my heart. He knows my needs. He does, but we have to take that next step in praying very specifically on what it is that we want, but then also being very intentional on our hearts being in the right place, that God can use it for His glory and it's not for our gain. So I want to encourage you to seek the Lord for wisdom, direction, and blessings, and watch Him transform your life. God bless. Leave it in the comments down below if you like this kind of content. Unfortunately, we probably won't get any more snow this year, but it was a lot of fun while it lasted. What's going on, guys? Blake Hawthorn, Itshisturf. And Kevin. We got Kevin here, and man, it's a different kind of video. So there is snow here, and I'm excited. I'm excited because we've never tried this before.
We don't get snow much.
We don't get snow, so we're out here playing. We got a call about clearing a property, and our skid steer operators are at home in bed, not wanting to come out until the second wave gets through at 6 a.m., and there's like a 20% chance. And we're like, that's an 80% chance that we could come out here and get this snow cleared, get them off this parking lot, and not have to deal with it in the morning. So we were just hanging out anyways. So we loaded up the Skag Windstorms. They're back there on the trailer. And we're gonna try to blow this whole property, parking lot and all. Man, it's either gonna be awesome or we're gonna get real cold and load up and go home and feel like we got defeated.
Either way, we're getting really cold.
Yeah,
it's like 12 degrees here right now.
Yeah, so I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Sit back, relax, stay warm inside, and enjoy the show.
All right, guys, so we're actually going to do some live commentary. We have dusted off the podcast. I got Kevin with me. It seemed only fitting since he was out here bearing the storm and freezing with me for us to kind of reminisce on last year's storm and this year's storm, talk about the pros and cons, the ups and downs, the goods and bads. So, Kevin, what do you think, man? It's kind of funny watching back a year later.
Yeah, a lot's changed in a year, and I'm sitting here watching it and just thinking about how we were doing it then and like what we've learned, and because most of these guys don't realize we get very little snow, so we just don't even know what we're doing is the honest truth out there.
Yeah, we definitely don't. And one thing, I mean, I know we said it once already, but like this is new asphalt. Asphalt was laid down a few days prior, so the customer had huge concerns about us scraping it with the skid steer and the blades on the bucket and all that, because we don't have, plows with, rubber guards and blades on them and all that. So the only option we had was really to come out here, shovel, blow it off. And we've seen some videos where guys were using backpack blowers for like sidewalks and stuff. And I think that's kind of what sparked this, thinking back.
The other thing I've noticed is like this year, whenever we've gone out there and just plowed with the machines, is like we definitely did not stress over getting it all the way down to the blacktop.
Yeah, like we used to?
Yeah. So I feel like if we had done that with the windstorms, it probably would have been easier. But I guess in our minds, we were doing it like we do leaves, you know, trying to like completely clear everything out.
Yeah, so this was I think this was my second storm ever to do any kind of snow removal.
And then my first.
Yeah, so, and we did. We always scraped it all the way down. And when it got late into the night, starts freezing, you know, it gets down in that single digits, then it does. It turns into a sheet of ice. And then you kind of feel defeated, can't get it off. And then we start using a lot of salt and a lot of ice melt. And what we learned last year, which was in this storm, is that you can just get that top layer off, salt or ice melt it, come back as soon as it, you know, gets daylight, that sun melts it completely off, and then it dries up.
Right.
And that's just a process that we were very unfamiliar with, because we thought like this right here was going to be detrimental, you know, to the parking lot.
To have that little bit of snow on the ground.
Right. We're trying to get bare asphalt. So, and the bad thing is somebody had driven around this building. I remember that. So in the tracks, I had to shovel the tracks while you were blowing, because there was no way to get it up. Where we walked, just walking the property, every footprint just kind of packed and stuck to the asphalt. And the process, I thought, probably would have taken us, you know, maybe 2 hours. I think it was more like 5.
Yeah, because wasn't this at like 10, 11 o'clock at night, something, when we showed up there?
Yeah, I showed up at like 10 or 11, and then I don't think we left till after 3 a.m.
Yeah.
Because we got to the back and we're like, oh my goodness, there's an entire parking lot back here where the employees park. And that's where you're headed to right now, is like around that building to that back parking lot. And there's a complete sidewalk all the way around the building that we got. And this New Hope therapy was therapy for children, and they were going to be open that next day. So I think also we were kind of going way above and beyond to like make sure it was super clean. And it paid off. They called us back, so we got to come back this year, and you'll see in a little bit with us using the skid steers. But
I love that we got to use the skid steers, because it took me half the amount of time. Not even half.
Yeah, I was gonna say maybe
it probably like took me 45 minutes.
Yeah, it was crazy. The customer liked the bill a lot.
Yeah. They weren't happy about this one.
No.
Just because of how long we were there and what we had to charge for our time being there.
Right. Yeah, because having 2 machines running and the manpower right here, I mean, you try to be as fair as you can, but even if you go charging a leaf rate of like $65 an hour, you know, it still can add way up. Yeah. And then who wants to go freeze and be out in that weather for $65 an hour? Go outside and do leaves in a few days when the snow's gone.
I'm trying to remember, like, why did we decide to go out there with just the 2 of us? Why didn't we take anyone with us?
You and I were hanging out.
Dad was in bed.
Yep.
He was asleep. He didn't want to come out until the sun came up.
Yep.
But why didn't we take any of the guys with us?
I think we thought we were really ambitious. We thought that we could do this on our own. I think we definitely thought it was going to be easier than it was. The snow's on pretty thick, and then, I mean, just moving it across the parking lot, you see it just starts to pile. So then you end up with big piles.
Yeah, windrows on you, just like leaves would.
Yeah.
And it just gets super heavy.
And then not having a blade or anything to push it with.
Right.
You're left literally shoveling it. So you find a median or like the closest point, and then it changes how you would blow it off too. So then you're blowing it in strips. How small of an area can I blow so I can actually try to get it off the asphalt, instead of being able to make long passes laterally across the entire thing.
And I remember here where you're seeing Blake shovel and I'm on the blower. Like, if I had shot the blower the wrong way, it would knock the shovel out of his hand.
Oh yeah, rip it out of my hand. It was pretty funny. And then we said, okay, well, can we get the perfect angle where you're blowing and I'm shoveling right in front? So as soon as I get it up off the asphalt, it just launches
shoots.
it. Yeah, gets it out of there. But it was, man, I understand now why we got destroyed in the comments.
Yeah.
From the snow guys.
Yeah.
Because it's pretty entertaining.
Well, guys, that's a wrap. I'd say we're going to go thaw out, but we're not. We're actually headed to the back, because as we were blowing off around the building, we found the employee parking. So, oh man.
You got to see the front?
Yeah.
We're just going to get to work and do the back.
Yeah, get it done. We've been here 4.5 hours.
Right at.
So right at 4.5 hours, we're going to try to get that done, get out of here. go grab about 2 hours of sleep, and then go knock out another one for you. But this is probably the last time you'll see. Where are they? Oh, these machines doing some snow removal. We're gonna go get some skid steers.
Not the way to do it.
Yeah, no, not at all. But probably the worst way to do snow removal ever.
At least we knew it. You know what I mean? Our
Right.
beards are like completely frosted over. But at least we knew that it was the worst way possible to do it.
Yeah.
And, you know, definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and not changing. Luckily, those blowers have not come back out on a snowstorm.
Well, also talking to the customer and making them realize what the price difference was going to be if they let us bring skid steers out. You know, changes the whole thing. And there you can see skid steer in the background.
Oh, yeah. You've covered half the parking lot in the front already.
I remember on that last storm, like after we left here, I think we both slept for a couple hours, and then we didn't sleep for like 2 days straight after that.
Yeah.
That was the most snow that I've seen since I was a kid.
Yeah, it was nonstop, and this year's snow was pretty brutal too. But I think we were a little better prepared, had more skid steers, more willing hands. As you can see, got my little brother out here helping on this one, and made all the difference. I think we had 2 or 3 shovelers at all times that were helping do sidewalks, clean up around like the parking blocks and the curbs, and then salting those areas. And it would take.
You can also see we're not trying to take it all the way down to the asphalt. I mean, I know it is happening some, but I mean, we just took as much as we could off of there and then threw ice melt out.
Yeah, that right there, salted or ice melted. By the time we were leaving the property, it was cleared off.
Yeah.
And it was that night, I know it was in the teens again. So it was still super cold, but just getting it down that much, it would clear up. And I think that's something that we learned definitely the hard way, not understanding why the guys up north emphasize so much on pre-treatment and salting and why they run these big old salters. You don't see it in this video. I've got a little cute, what is it called? A snow dog or
snow dog.
a salt dog?
Or salt dog.
Salt
that's what
dog.
It is.
Yeah, so I've got this one, and that's blown up on Instagram, and people have been just destroying us in the comments. But it makes sense for us.
My favorite comment is they have a salter for a Ranger on a dually.
Okay, yeah. The one that I like was he spent all of his money on his truck. He couldn't afford a real salter. That was my brother-in-law's truck. Our truck was probably, it wasn't broke down at the moment. Our truck's been broke down for 18 months, but it was actually hooked to a skid steer, ready to go. I would love to be able to afford plows and like true salt equipment and all of that. I think you could make good money, but the problem that I have in justifying it is how many storms would it take to pay for it?
Yeah.
And how many storms have we had over the last 10 years?
I mean, that's always been my problem with it. The ROI on it is very low where we're at. And these guys from up north, they watch our Instagram and they make their comments, and like that's what I try to get them to understand is like we're in Arkansas. We maybe get a snow worth plowing maybe once a year.
Yeah, I know we had one in 2012. We had the storm this year, the storm last year.
Which is very uncommon for us
Yeah.
to have 2 storms
Back to back.
You know, we've had 2 snow events this year.
Right.
Where one was actual snow, the other one was ice, and all you were really doing is throwing out ice melt.
Yeah. And then I think it was 2 years prior to that. So say in 13 years, we've had 4 storms.
Yeah.
4 storms that you could have plowed.
And how do you
in 13
justify thousands of dollars worth of plows and salters?
Right. Yeah, there was a guy at one of the supply shops before that last ice that we got. We couldn't even push or anything. It wasn't worth it. It was just ice. The only thing you could do was salt it. But he went out after this storm and he bought a plow and a big salter. Had over $10,000 in equipment because he bought it used. And He didn't get to use it on that storm. Maybe did a little bit of
I was
salting,
about to say,
hopefully.
he probably uses the salter, but not the plow.
Right. And so now who knows how long he's going to have to hold on to that to make some money.
To pay for himself.
Yeah. And the cutting blade, I mean, you destroy the cutting blades on the skid steer. I mean,
Oh, yeah. We had one break
destroy 'em.
off. The
Yeah.
bolt broke completely off, and we just stuck a random bolt we got from Lowe's in there to try to hold the blade on.
Yeah, long enough to finish the storm. And what did it last, like 2 hours
Yeah. the
before
bolt
it
was
broke
gone.
off again?
Yeah.
Luckily,
I
we
mean,
were
it was
almost done with
definitely the
job.
wrong kind of bolt to put on there, but we were hoping it would last a little longer than it did.
Yeah. The cutting blades are a couple $100, and you can use them twice. So, like, you can flip them around and use them.
But you usually have to change the bolts. You have
Right.
to buy new bolts just to flip it around because your bolts are shot.
Yeah. And that just seems way more efficient for us. I would love, even if it wasn't a plow, maybe you've got those 8 or 10 foot, like box blade, snow, kind of blade buckets.
That go on the
skids. Yeah. That would probably make a lot more sense. You can pick them up for a couple, like $1,500, $2,500 on, swap shops, people getting rid of them.
Right.
That I think I could justify before even spending 5 or 6 on a plow for a truck. Even though I think you could make way more money on a plow with a truck, even with our residentials. Think about all the driveways where people couldn't get out this last storm. We pushed probably over 5 miles of road because our city couldn't even keep up. So we were pushing out entire subdivisions, at least, a pass and a half.
You had to push roads just to get to the Walmart.
Yeah.
To be able to plow the Walmart as
Yep.
efficiently as they wanted you to. Because nobody could make it down the road, and the city hadn't been able to keep up with the roads between your house and Walmart.
Yeah, we had got stuck trying to leave the shop. And so we were stuck, fought that for 2 hours. Then finally we just unloaded the machine and drove it there. Had to clear the road on the way there. Got the Walmart done. Then like 2 days later, we got a call from one of our 52 home POAs. That property, nobody could get out of. So then we had to push a mile and a half from our main Central Avenue down a side road to get to the subdivision. And then you had that entire block that you had to clear for the subdivision. And then like 2 days after that, we got a call. Most of it's already melted, but this neighborhood was way back off the main road, had a lot of big trees and a lot of shade. We cleared almost 2 miles in that subdivision because they still couldn't get out of their houses.
Yeah.
And that's where I think the right equipment could be very beneficial for our residentials. And I think that you can make a lot of money, even charging, just say 50 or 75 bucks just to go up there, drag the driveway off, salt it real quick, and go on. Even if you said it's $100 each, and then you would push the road between the next driveways.
Right.
I think that could be huge, and for me, it would scratch that itch of like not only being able to make money, but also being able to help people, because it's not a good thing when you've got people trapped, they can't get out, and that was 6 days after the initial snow.
Yeah, and we have a lot of elderly in our town.
Yeah.
That they need to be able to get out and get around.
Yeah, I saw a statistic for 2024 that Arkansas was the most moved to state in the United States last year.
Well, we're also one of the biggest towns for retirees.
Yeah, Hot Springs Village is the largest retirement gated community in the United States, which is insane. But there was nobody pushing snow up there because that entire community is nothing but hills and large timber and a ton of just sketchy iced roads when this kind of weather comes in. No, it's hilarious. This is the parking lot you don't see in the first
video.
round.
Yeah, this is where we went.
I think
after
batteries
we stopped the video.
Yeah, batteries died. We were tired of it. Like, let's just get done and see how much quicker it went.
Oh, and by the way, this is the point that you left me there by myself.
Yeah. I mean, I was done.
You had done your part.
Yeah. So, guys, we hope you enjoyed today's video. Hope that you're learning as much as we are. And if you're a snow guy and you watched all of this, man, just roast us in the comments. We love it. Show us what we can do better. Appreciate you guys so much.
See you next time.
See ya.